Fourthly, now that we have the data, it's got to actually be rendered on a custom chart. A simulator like this, where we have the layout and that underlying data as time progresses and the data keeps coming in real time, needs to be updated here. But how does one go about doing that when there is no capability to create arbitrary charts? How does one create a structure like this? This is where Gramex's capabilities for charts come in handy. One powerful capability is to take arbitrary representations and make them dynamic. Let me show you an example. I'm actually going to take this slide itself and convert it into a chart. So it's in PowerPoint. It's a set of PowerPoint objects. I'm going to right click on this and save this as a picture. Let's call it picture one, and I'll export it in an SVG format. Let's save it as SVG one. Now I'm going to go to this folder, open picture1.svg. Let's format it. And this is actually an SVG document in which all of the text is as it is. So if I take this, let's run Gramex and we'll take a blank page. So this is a document with a blank page, index.html. This is the source. So what I'm going to do is take that entire SVG and insert it in here, which means that I have a static representation now of the slide that I had. And now this is my static chart. Well, technically it's not a chart, it's just an image, right? So there's nothing much that I can do with this image unless I can start mapping content here into data. So let's assume that we have some data. Let's say we want to replace this chart with something that comes from data. So let's search for the word chart. And this is where it is. So let's say I want to replace this with, let's just pick some numbers. I want to replace it with 1. So that's become 1. 2, that's become 2. How can we make this dynamic? Well, here's where, when we are creating something like a custom chart, you have the flexibility to go into code and not just use Gramex as a no-code framework where it's only configuration, but rather use it as a low-code framework where you have the flexibility to introduce code as well. And I'm going to show you one simple way in which you can change the color of the background and the text as data streams in. So here the color is determined by, I'm guessing, this. So if I make this red, yeah, that changes to red. What we can do is put in the entire structure, this entire SVG, into a template. And I'm going to do that by putting it actually into a script, which is of type HTML, and giving it an ID called, let's say, template. This template I am now going to render by saying, and this is a library that Gramex has, saying take the object called template and render it as a template, which means that actually there's no change. It just took what I gave, converted it into a template, and there's no change. But the power comes when I start feeding it variables that can come from data. For example, if I said, let's say the variable number is 10, and where I earlier had the number 2, I replace it with the number that I have now. That becomes 10. And similarly, this can be replaced with whatever color I pass here. So let's say color is blue. So I forgot a comma there. Yeah. Now, what you see here, I'm going to make this go side by side. What you see here is a data structure that's being mapped to content, and we can therefore create pretty much any kind of structure. Let's make a small change here. We'll make this 0 to 55 0. 0.10. So that's 10% opacity on green. If I make it 0.9, that's 90% opacity on green. Let's assume that the data streams in. Let's say it comes in every, let's say, 100 milliseconds. And the data simply contains the numbers from 1 onwards. Let's start with 0, and it keeps incrementing. And let's put in I by 100. So the number keeps updating every 100 milliseconds. And the color also gently turns from light to dark green, or well, faded to bright green. It took maybe 3-4 minutes for us to take something that was a non-standard chart and convert a couple of elements, mapping the color and mapping the text to data. We could have done this to the width as well. So where we had the rectangle, let's say width is such and such, we could add a width that is exactly equal to the number. So let's reload that. And now we have this gently creeping in as an animated, I don't even know what to call this. These charts don't have a name. And what that allows us to do is create charts that don't really have a name with a few minutes worth of configuration and a little bit of code. What this did for us was save about 200 odd lines on template generation. Of course, it's a different matter that that original chart wouldn't have been done on any other platform. And also saved us about 3% days of effort if we had gone about doing this manually. What that meant was that something that, and there were 4 other components that we used as part of the solution. The total impact of this was that the final solution was built in 3 days with 1.5 people, creating 4 different views and effectively with 8 components, reducing about 2,500 lines of code.